Did you guys see this? Today, President Trump signed an executive order to protect and expand access to IVF in the United States. So a lot of you have asked me to comment on this. As a fertility doctor who has spent their career helping people to overcome barriers to building their families, any move that anyone proposes to protect and expand access to IVF in the US, on the surface, I find that very encouraging. But I'm going to be honest with you, an executive order alone is not going to fix the deep-rooted issues that we have when it comes to fertility care access. Right now, IVF coverage and affordability vary drastically depending on where you live and what kind of insurance you have. Most patients, a lot of patients, are paying out of pocket and don't have any coverage at all, and the costs can be absolutely crushing, often upwards of $15,000 to $20,000 per cycle, not to mention the game of cat and mouse that we fertility doctors are constantly playing with insurance companies. I can't tell you the number of times that they'll say, yes, we'll cover the retrieval, but not PGT. Yet, this isn't a 40-year-old patient with recurrent pregnancy loss likely due to aneuploidy in their embryos. Or how about a patient in her late 20s who carries the BRCA mutation and wants to freeze her eggs because she knows that she will inevitably end up wanting preventative surgery to remove her ovaries in her mid to late 30s to prevent ovarian cancer. Just the other day, I spent 40 minutes on the phone fighting back and forth with her insurance company for coverage to no avail. All too often, the insurance coverage that does exist flies in the face of what we actually medically are recommending, what's in the best interest of the patient. So for this kind of executive order to actually mean something to patients, we would need to see concrete action at both the state and federal levels. Legislation that requires comprehensive insurance coverage for fertility treatment across the board, regardless of someone's employer, their geography, or even their marital status. We'd need also clear protections for IVF providers and patients that live in states with restrictive laws on reproductive rights and embryo personhood. Without that, an executive order is more of a symbolic gesture. It doesn't really address the systemic problems that keep fertility care out of reach for so many people. I welcome the conversation and I love that this is being talked about, but let's be honest, real change is going to come when fertility care is treated as essential health care, because it is. 1 in 6 couples suffer from infertility. Women in this country are having children at older ages because of a variety of socioeconomic factors. The fact is we need universal coverage for infertility and fertility preservation. Both treatment and prevention are so important. Having that opportunity should not be based on what you can afford and where you live or who you work for. Working to rectify that is what it's going to truly take to make this vision a reality.